In terms of speakers with our high school portion of the program, and since I just mentioned Jordan Loving, then it's only appropriate to get him up here first. He's in his first year as the head coach at Riverside Academy, but previously he's been a head coach at Pope John Paul II, and he's also been an assistant at Brother Martin, where he did an outstanding job, and then served in a capacity of coordinator for Coach Bill Stubbs at Riverside until he richly got the job he deserved when Coach Stubbs retired this past year. Riverside, as mentioned, defeated Dunham on the road in the quarterfinals in a game that, I don't know, maybe took 2 days or something like that. But they got it done, and now they're in the state semifinals to take on the top seed undefeated Notre Dame. That game is in Crowley on Friday night at 7 p.m. Please give a warm quarterback club welcome to Coach Chris Lachney of the Riverside Academy Rebels. Chris?
I want to thank everybody for having us here today, having me here today from Riverside. Pope John Paul High School is where I went to school as well. Congratulations on your award tonight. I saw up there a 33 on the ACT, is that right? I took the test 3 times. If you added them all up, I don't think it's a 33. So congratulations to you, that's amazing. On behalf of our principal, Mr. Mike Coburn, our athletic director, Timmy Bird, I want to tell you guys what an honor it is for us to be here today to represent Riverside Academy. I want to start by talking about something that I began my Monday morning meeting with our players, and it's about Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is probably my favorite holiday of the year, and I'm going to tell you why. First of all, as a high school football coach, that's always been kind of the line of demarcation that, you know, if you're practicing and you're still alive in Thanksgiving week, it means you've had a successful season. And I still think that that's true. But that's not really what makes Thanksgiving special to me. What makes Thanksgiving special to me is that it's one of the very few, if not the only, holiday that just celebrates an idea. It's not an event. Nothing happened on this day, or on Thanksgiving Day. We're not celebrating the signing of a Declaration of Independence or the birth of anyone or the death of anyone. It's just being thankful. And we don't, you know, we always want to create an event. You know, well, what happened that day? Why are we here together? Why are we eating today? What happened today? Nothing happened today. We're just thankful. And I don't think we do that enough. As young people, as older people, all of us, we all need to take a break and remind ourselves of how thankful we are for what we have and the people that are in our lives. And we started our semifinal practice routine with that speech right there, and our kids really understood it, or at least I hope they did. The story of our season is an eventful one. I'm sure you're kind of familiar with what's going on. We had a very atypical season thus far. When we made our schedule back, last winter, we drew a week 10 bye in our district. So we thought it would be a good idea to leave it open because it would be, in our bracket nowadays, everybody goes to the playoffs. So you're definitely in, might give you a chance to heal up and this, that, and the other. Well, we ended up having the rest of our games filled. But we had a scheduling conflict, a contractual conflict with another school, and it ended up costing us another game, week 4. So then we end up with 2 bye weeks, week 4 and week 10. Now, if I had known that that was going to be the case, I probably would have filled that week 10 date, but it was a little too late. And then going into week 7, I believe it was, the hurricane situation in the Gulf forced South Plaquemine to cancel our game week 7. So we have played 7 regular season games. Let's throw on top of that the fact that our week 1 game against the defending Division 4 state champion Southern Lab had to be moved because of a storm. We had to move that game in 1 day. We made the decision that our field was going to be unplayable due to the conditions and the storm and everything like this, so we moved it to Walker High School. Many thanks to Walker High School for hosting us there. And we had to, when you think about how many people it takes to put on an event like a football game, just to move it at the drop of a hat is no easy task. And our school and our community and our support system was never on better display than that weekend. So again, it's been an interesting year. We've had to battle things, as everybody has, and I don't mean to sound, hey, everybody feels sorry for us. We have it right. Hey, everybody's got trouble. Everybody has troubles they have to deal with. Ours are just a little more unique than most people's, I think. You know, we've also had some injuries. We have a running back, Jeremy Gibson, who's a commitment to the University of Arkansas, who hasn't taken a healthy snap all year. In fact, he tried to go as long as he could and help his team out. But we decided, and he decided, that it was probably best for him to just go ahead and have the surgery that he needed. And last Wednesday, he had a very successful knee operation, and he's fully on his way to recovery. He is a commitment to the University of Arkansas, and we are certainly aware of their situation over there and what's going on. And I just want to say in front of everybody that I've got absolutely nothing but respect for Coach Bielema and his staff at Arkansas. And I hope, and my only prayer about Jeremy and his situation is that he gets a chance to be coached by Coach Bielema. He has been an absolute professional throughout this whole process. Never more supportive of Jeremy and his injury situation. You hear it all the time about commitments, being kind of dropped off and replaced by other people if an injury, God forbid, were to occur. I got a phone call from Brett Bielema himself one night telling me, Coach, don't worry about a thing. His scholarship's good here as long as he wants to be here. You don't see that too often. You hear the recruiting process is out of control, and I'm sure every coach can attest to it. And you've got offers being given to kids all over the place and all this stuff. Coach Bielema is one of the few coaches around that still hand writes those scholarship offers and writes them to the football coach, to keep us informed of what's going on and how it is. It's not just one of these camp things. It's real when it comes from Coach Bielema. And I appreciated that the whole time. And I just wanted to say that. Our season, like I said, I've already talked about it a little bit. We played a very brutal schedule by design. Okay, you can say that 3 out of the 4 teams that we played in non-district are still alive. Although Southern Lab is not, I think we all agree that they would have been if they wouldn't have been banned from the playoffs this year. We opened up the season with Southern Lab. They're a very good football team, ultra talented. Then week 2 played Barb, who's got a quarterfinal game this week at West Monroe, and I think they have a really good chance against them. Week 3 we played De La Salle, who, I don't know, I don't want to step on anybody's toes, but I think is the best football team in Louisiana. Just ultra, really hard to beat. Maybe there's teams out there with more talent, with more prospects and this, that, and the other, but I don't know if anybody in the state could line up and feel comfortable defending Julian Gums and De La Salle. And then Archbishop Rummel, obviously, we know who they are. We know what they've been about for so long. It's been a brutal road, and our kids took their lumps, but they're better because of it. I think we've endured some situations that would have crumbled a lot of people, and our kids are still alive, and they're still fighting, and they're still as confident and as strong as they've ever been. Nobody blinked the whole time. Not one time when everything was going on, whether it be the circumstances that surrounded our season or the outcome of any game. Nobody ever flinched, and nobody ever had any kind of doubt that we can be a very good football team. I want to talk a little bit about Jordan Loving, our quarterback, who's a very special athlete, very special young man. And I want to talk about our athletic program at Riverside a little bit, and the way that we share our athletes. Everybody talks about wanting to promote multi-sport athletes and wanting to support your athletes and not make them choose, right? We want to share our athletes because it helps us. It helps the kid also, but it helps us at Riverside. Jordan Loving right now was invited to come here and be interviewed for winning this award for the Player of the Week. And he called me back last night and said, "Coach, I forgot, I can't make it. I have basketball practice." Now, he's the quarterback on the football team, and the football team is in the semifinals. Where else in the world is the starting quarterback at basketball practice right now? Nowhere. And I say that, and I fully support it. That's not a tongue-in-cheek thing. We love that. We have a trust and a relationship in our athletic department amongst our coaches and with our players that promotes kids to play multiple sports. And that's what we've always been about. And that's what we'll continue to be about as long as we're here. I want to thank, or I want to send a congratulations to Nelson Stewart. He's coming up here next. Let me just say that my speech would have been a whole lot funnier had you had me go second. But that's you know, I had so many answers to the things that he was undoubtedly going to talk about. Let me tell you this, okay? And leading up to Nelson coming up here. First of all, let me say how much respect I have for Nelson Stewart as a coach and as a friend. He and I have been very good friends for a long time, and Nelson has always been nothing but supportive of me when he didn't have to be throughout the years. But I'll lead up to with this. When he gets up here and starts telling you that his players aren't very good and he doesn't know how they're winning and they just work really hard and they just try harder than everybody, just get up and leave. Don't sit here and listen to that. You know, I don't know. You guys, I don't know how y'all keep eating that stuff up, but they're a very good football team at Newman. Full of very good football players. Don't let them fool you. And they're very well coached, and that's what leads to undefeated football teams. So again, I want to thank you guys for having me here. I'll open it up to any questions before I go. Does anybody have any questions for me? Oh yeah, we have a big semifinal game against Notre Dame this week. Louis Cook is a phenomenal football coach, one of the best there is. His football team always plays with a violence and a toughness that we appreciate at Riverside. We like that, and we look forward to the challenge of matching that. We had a game against them 2 years ago in the Superdome for the state championship that they won 13-3, I believe it was. It was a fun game to be a part of. We're looking forward to the rematch this time in the semifinals at Notre Dame. Yes, sir, you had a question? I can hear you.
Who are some of the people recruiting on?
I don't know. Maybe they're all in this room. I don't know. None. I don't know what to say. I have no real explanation for that. I've heard throughout the years when I've had good players that I thought needed to be recruited, well, why don't you recruit this guy? Well, he's not big enough. Well, Jordan's 6'4". Well, he's not fast enough. Well, Jordan runs 4'7". But I don't know if he's got the arm that he's got a good arm. He makes all the throws. Well, I don't know who he's doing it against. Well, I just listed our schedule for you. And in the last 2 years, you can add John Ehret, Parkview Baptist, Hanville to that list of people that he's done it against. You know, so I really don't know. I know that the more I learn about recruiting, the less I understand it. And that's not a knock. That's not any kind of sarcasm there. I really don't know. I know this. At Riverside Academy, we're going to leave no stone unturned when it comes to preparing for the things that we can control. And we are not going to waste 1 second worrying about the things that we can't control. And that's something that we can't control. So instead of trying to figure out why and racking our brains of trying to understand what his shortcomings may be or what his limitations might be as perceived by others, we're just going to prepare for Notre Dame. And that's what we're going to do. Anybody else? Okay, guys, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Chris. Again, at Crowley is Notre Dame hosting